process integration for an XI for the last 7 years. One of the things that I've often been bothered about is how you can actually find these messages that you're processing in a state before they're changed. That's why I created piarchiving, to help solve that problem. Well, it works really simple. Just been designed to work as simple as possible. So how it works? First, we'll take a message, and the message can come in using any communication channel, or it can be one of the messages that you're also sending out that you want to archive. First, it'll take the message, and you can archive it in a bucket. A bucket is a definition of where you want to store this. Currently, the bucket supported is a file, which will store it on the local file system. FTP, which will store the message on a remote FTP server. And the third at the moment is Amazon Simple Storage Solution. Amazon S3 it's also called, which is an online file storage that you can just continue adding on more data to. You just pay for the amount of data you're storing there. I think the price is something like 1.78 dollars a month per gigabyte. So for storage, it's really cheap. And they have quite a bit of redundancy. I know it's not really something you want to have your data stored in a way that other people can extract and see what's going on there. So what we have done is we have archived the message. When we're sending the message, we're encrypting the message to make sure that it's only the PI system you have that is able to understand this message. The encryption we're using is using SAP's standard encryption libraries for those kind of actions, so it's really simple to get started using. The other thing that we do to reduce the size is we put all the data in a zip file that makes it much smaller, both when you store it locally on Amazon, to make sure that we're using the space as efficient as possible. To find these messages, we have made it much easier for you also. First off, a lot of EDI and XML documents contain some data that is relevant for searching. For EDIFACT messages, it could be the sender partner identification, the receiver partner identification, the document number, the transmission number, for instance, invoice number. For EDIFACT and X12, we can actually extract these data for you automatically, store them together with the file to make sure that you can archive this message, you can find the messages. For XML, there's no predefined structure there. So there you have to define with XPath which are the fields that you want to archive. And then that can be processed and you can archive these references to a document. The references to a document can either be stored locally in your own database or in Amazon's Simple DB, which is a database on Amazon's cloud. The advantage of this is it will make it much more transparent. If you have multiple PI systems that are all sending messages to one database, then you can just go to any of the systems you have installed the PI archiving tool on, and search, because all of these searches will be done using Amazon Simple DB. So it's a way to leverage their cloud technology. One of the things you often have when doing data archiving is you need to be sure that the messages is also deleted when it's time to delete them. we handle that by when you're defining your bucket, you say this bucket has to live for 5 years, or until the 5 years, for instance, of 5 months, 3 days. And then you can run a script that will delete all the messages that has expired. This will make it really possible to make sure you only have those messages that you're supposed to have, even if they're only supposed to last for a month, 5 months. So it's something you define on the bucket level when you're defining the place you want to store these messages. So the other thing that we do, there's also an interface where you can search for sender system, sender party, receiver party, and all these kind of normal attributes. But then you can also search for these fields that we have made for the archiving. So you can actually search for the invoice number. So you can find all the all the documents with a certain invoice number, a certain party. So it's really simple to find these messages. So that was the basic tour of what this does. Oh, one thing. When you've found the list of messages that you want to use for something else, like send them into the test system and see how they perform and how the mapping is behaving there, there's a download all button that will download all the messages that you have archived, put them in a zip file, and then you can download the message, extract the payload, and process the message on your test system. So it is really simple to use, and it's something that you can get started on right away. I think for a skilled developer, it'll probably take maybe half an hour to get started, where you can archive your first message on your local file storage. There's a guide for all the installation instruction, what you need to do, what are the ways to set up this, what's the bucket, and all these kind of things. And that will guide you through how you can fill in this thing. So find the download now area and download the file, get started, and see how this works on your PR system. And I bet you'll be amazed on how this really works and what you can do with it. So I'm looking forward to hear what you think about it and how well it's going to be used in your system. So I'm looking forward to talk with you later. Until then, goodbye.